the chance to see you while you were recording. I was there for a few songs, and while you were recording your vocals, and even then in the studio, sometimes I was seeing you changing live on the spot some lyrics, some of the songs, and I was quite amazed by that because, as you see, you write a lot, and you spend all those moments in writing. So I was. Is this how you work all the time, or was it more specific to this project?
I think that I love, well, in the context of a band, it's so easy to hide because you don't really take, you can, it's like you're spreading the emotion within the context of a band, and thus it's a big band, we're 6. So it's easier to kind of to hide yourself with with all the noise, and it's rocking, it's really like driven, but I always do write on the spot, yes, but for this record it was it's all poetry, so I took back, and I didn't when I wrote, I wasn't thinking about songs, I wasn't thinking about like putting music because for me, I didn't think about putting music on words. Usually it's like you're adding words to music. So me, I have a different perspective, in general. But for this project, it was important for me to have a balance of what I wrote and what those words means at that very specific moment. So it wasn't about embodying what I wrote in the past. It was about saying, okay, well, so that's why I was just like rewriting a lot. So no, this is more this angle now, or this is really this. And ask myself, have I wrote that in such a way that I can hide myself? Have I wrote this so then I can I don't have to really assume and to face other people reading that, just like, whoa, So I took all that away from the record.
Wow.
And that's why when I first heard in Tokyo last week, I not freaked out, but I was just like, well, okay, well, just like everything, like it was like opening the light, when you're in the dark, you kind of, it's easy, you kind of get, you kind of get, you understand where things are, and then you can make a life out of it.
Sure.
But when you open the light, and then you're just like, you're kind of blinded in what's going on, and then suddenly when you're starting to realize what's going on, and then, whoa, it's quite disturbing. And it was a little bit like that,
Of course.
So, but I think it reflects the project and the whole record as well.
Yeah, I think that the way it's just brought up also publicly is I feel it's in the same spirit and mindset. Even you mentioned we had this kind of interview, so at first I thought I went too deep when I re-listened to it, and because it's so just yourself, just like the veil, as we can see on the album cover, kind of being behind a veil, and it's like if all of this comes down and you're just there, and it must be
I think
quite
that
a thrill.
Makai is just like he's like, is he stopping? Is he stopping? What's going on here? And that's when I think that what the cover was, I think, a wonderful representation also of the process, because as you go, lights will go through that veil more and more, and then you need to tear a little bit in order to have a little bit more lights to come in, and then you're exposing yourself, and it's scary,
of course,
at first. But I wanted the music to be the reflection, the other side of that veil. So it wasn't about the image, because we're living in a world where it's all about the image.
Definitely.
And it's not like a social statement. It's really how I see it. And for me, the music was the other side of the veil, and it was the light that came through and tearing a little bit of that veil down. So then you can be free as you're discovering who you are, and as you're embracing that light more and more. So So that's why when I started to go from the process of writing all those songs and then recording those songs, and then at first I wasn't really thinking about the artwork.
Sure.
For me, I would have said, like, in my perspective, it would have been only like the name of the album. You know, I wasn't really thinking, you know, well, because it wasn't meant to be really into, it's not an object of commerce.
Sure.
So, but then suddenly when talking with Ben and everything, so then it became something that was a little bit more personal, and from that intimacy I was able to discover a little bit more of myself, but also of the record. And then when I saw that picture that Stephanie took when we were in Tanger, then it was like, wow, okay, it represents so much.
Wow.
You know, it was the perfect representation of the record, actually, all the songs and everything. As much as the sea and the water and the sky, it's just, so.
All related to this journey.
I think so, yeah.
Nice.